So I'm about to do my first video. I just want to say I appreciate everyone who likes, comments, subscribes, and watches. Welcome to High Alchemist. I am your host Chakra, and I am here to enlighten you. Today we're going to be talking about spirit. What is spirit? Spirit is space and time itself. For me, spirit is an atom's non-physical and physical energy that make up everything in the universe. It is the light and the darkness. It is the great balance, the elemental force that gives everything life and energy to move into death. It is the essential awareness of any object that holds information. Like a forest, for instance, can have good spirits and bad spirits in it. It is the conscious universal mind, the essence of all life. Think about how a picture of a neuron looks almost exactly alike, like one of the biggest pictures of the dark matter universe, which is 90 something point something space, makes up most of our world, right? There's no coincidence there. The dictionary defines spirit as a non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. Now think about how all that information gets processed by our five senses: smell, touch, taste, seeing, and hearing itself, that make up our emotions and character, and eventually our spirit and soul. We almost never use our souls and our spirits in everyday activities, right? But somehow we always or sometimes get used by our emotions and our characteristics. I think soul is to spirit what mind is to the brain. We aren't all aware of breathing until you think about it, right? What happens when we start thinking about consciously our breaths? We start to notice the ins and outs, the flow of life itself. Now, we aren't all blessed with Christ-like consciousness, but we certainly have a much higher potential for things of that miraculous stature, I guess, than we previously thought. What we do with the information we get and the choices we make with all that we interpret through the limited five sense capacity in the electromagnetic spectrum is what defines us. The colors in the rainbow, for instance, is nothing but the visual representation of what we see in the electromagnetic spectrum. Everything is made up of those primary colors, meaning that there's a whole lot of things out there that are outside of our senses that we cannot see. But just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not real. Like air, for instance. We can feel air, but we can't see air. For example, if you were on a farm and you got used to the smell, you wouldn't smell anything, right? But if I was new and I had just walked up to your farm, I would be overwhelmed by the smell of cow dung, right? But since we're so used to that and we're conditioned to that smell, it kind of, I guess, bypassed us. We've uncoded that smell from our senses. Or maybe we just got used to it to the point that we can't smell anymore. The smell doesn't affect our emotional state in order for us to be uncomfortable with a bad smell or a good smell. This is why I think spirit can be everything. It is the essential fabric of nature. Think about when I say the spirit of the 80s. The 80s was a time span back in the days, but somehow that makes sense. You can see something and know that it holds the spirit of the 80s, 90s, or whatever.